Hello everyone, and welcome to the Sideboard. I'm Glenn Jones, and I'm here with James Gates. We're at the Los Angeles Standard Open, and James is playing Mono Black Infect, which if you were watching SCGLA during round two, I believe, on camera, you played against Fred Yane.
I did.
How'd that go for you?
He beat me pretty badly. He got a little lucky. My draws were pretty bad, but it's not the greatest matchup either. So.
All right, that's fair.
He's a good player.
So, Mono Black Infect is an unconventional choice in the field, I would say.
Yeah, it hasn't seen play in a while.
Yeah, and you're one of the few people running it today.
Yeah.
I've actually seen builds kind of similar to this one on Moto recently. Maybe you, I don't know. But why don't we just walk through what the main selling points are to build the strategy in the first place?
So we're going to probably start with these 1-drops, 4 Despise and 4 Duress. Okay. Both pretty fantastic in the early turns. Obviously, they can be a brick later on. Good thing to know is that they both hit Planeswalkers, which is pretty important. Obviously, Mono Black is usually generally weak to Planeswalkers. And that brings it up to a pretty questionable choice, which is Ravenous Rats. Since it doesn't have Infect, it usually doesn't see play in the archetype, but it's actually much better than generally played like Plague Stinger, which in a World of Gut Shots and just a World of Removal, it just doesn't really do anything ever. When you combine it with the discard effect, and you really want to 2-drop, and I'm pretty sure that these are the best ones you want to play.
Sure. So does he play a sort of like a defensive role more so? Like
this is more of a control deck with a quick clock is how I've been describing it than an actual Infect deck.
Okay.
Because every creature pretty much has double strike in the sense of Infect that it's pretty much a Mono Black control deck, but it can kill much quicker. The only Infect guys that play are Crusader, Skivix, and Inkmoth Nexus, and all 3 of these are all fantastic.
Sure. Crusader's
really good on defense. There's a lot of removal spells that can't touch it. Could block up to a 3/3 and survive, so it's pretty fantastic.
How is Skithrax been for you?
This card is
expensive.
He is expensive, and he's why I have to play so many swamps, so many lands. But he's really incredible. I almost generally never run him out at 5 mana unless I have another one. And this combined with Last Rite can just be a one-shot clock, like 1-hit kill.
Sure.
And because you pretty much always know their hand or they're always low on cards, he's exceptional.
Speaking of the Last Rite, that's obviously one of the biggest incentives to run so many swamps.
It's true. Pretty much, like you don't play come to play tap Exalted Land pretty much because of Last Rite.
Okay.
And you play you play 24 lands pretty much because of Last Rite. So far I've played 3 rounds. I'm 2-1. I've won 3 games just done to regular damage.
Okay.
Twice through Malira and once just through a Last Rite on a Ravenous Rat. So you usually don't want to split up your deck half and half, but this deck
it can actually play both roles pretty easily. And obviously, like it can beat through a Malira, as you said.
Yes.
Would you even classify it as like an especially dangerous card?
Malira, no. It's not even that good. Like you bring it in if you're against me, but I have so many removal spells, and I beat straight up through it. I didn't even just a 2/2, just a regular 2/2 first strike beats the Malira.
Sure. So. This archetype's obviously like pretty strong against Spellsky, which is another Infect hate card. People are used to the more traditional mono green Infect deck, but it's just
because mono green is such an aggro animal. Yeah. Most of the hate towards it is not going to be too effective towards this archetype.
Well, you've split your removal spells kind of in an interesting way here. You've got 1 Doomblade, 1 Go for the Throat, which is a split a lot of people struggle with due to like zombies and golden lands, I think, being like...
Zombies is a decent matchup, so I don't have to lean on just the spells that kill artifact creatures, and I generally am a fan of splitting. Okay. This card's pretty good, well positioned right now. I mean, in fact, pretty much can't beat it game
Curse,
1.
Once it's in play, they're just dead.
I have another one on the board, so it's a pretty sweet card.
And you've got Black Sun Zenith, which also can play a similar role.
Sure, you pretty much have to play some outs to Geist and some mass removal, and it's a card I want to play anyway, so it works out well.
Did you consider Mutilate over Zenith, or do you think it's just pretty much superior?
I did, but there's double Nexus draws, and I think Zenith's where you want to be.
Okay. And Virulent being like the obvious upgrade.
Virulent is nice. It's a nice one. And Sign of Blood is another great reason to be Mono Black. And I play a ton of swamps.
The reprinting of Sign of Blood has given zombies even a lot of fuel. It's been a big card for just filling that 2-drop slot. I expect we'll see probably a fair bit of it, especially once we have Black Shocklands coming up.
It's only going to get better. It's a good chance.
Moving over to the sideboard, we have mostly some conventional choices. I'm a big fan of Nile Spellbow in the format, so it's not like surprising to see it here. We got an extra Curse, another Go for the Throat. But some of the cards stand out as kind of interesting. Liliana of the Veil was the first one that caught my eye because we're not playing any in our main deck and we have 1 in our sideboard.
True. I like to split up my Edict effects. I even thought about 1 Geth's Verdict. Okay. But Liliana isn't that great because, like I said, we're more of a control deck and we really need the cards in hand. Even pitching just +1 and pitching a swamp's a pretty big deal. So it's not bad. So I'd like to have a copy. Zephyr I think is an underplayed removal spell, just another removal spell. When you're 1 color, you're limited in your sideboard options, and since I'm limited in my creatures, so my sideboard's gonna be mostly removal, which it is. Retro Bomb is a concession to the new Travis Wu deck, and just if I play against a token deck,
kill all the elves.
Yeah, it's quite Spellbomb's fantastic. You can bring it against Delver, any control archetype. I play against the Reanimator deck. Which one of them hasn't seen any play since block, and it's not bad. You can kill curses with it, which is nice, especially the Black Curse. And he stops Bonfire, so it's pretty decent against.
Are you frequently boarding it in against that card?
I do. Yeah, I'm boarding against Bonfire, then Brimstone Volley pretty much just works the entire card. Since Brimstone can't really target Skithirex effectively, Crusader, and it can't target me, so.
Who did you work with for the event, or did you just kind of decide to play the
Me
deck?
and Greg Hatch are playing the deck. The only two, as far as I know, playing the exact list.
Okay.
We're a pretty big fan of them. We follow the Moto metagame, and this has been doing pretty well. So we played it on Moto a little bit, and then we brought it here. I believe we're both 2-1. So.
A reasonable start with Mono Black Infect. Thanks for coming in.
Appreciate it, Glenn.
Good
Thanks so
luck.
much.